So, to pontificate, well, the gratin, or whatever the hell it is, has been removed from the oven on its drip catcher, the oven-proof frying pan, and I'm really glad that I used that. First of all, it makes it easy. Second of all, really, it makes it easy. Take the handles of that frying pan to take out of the oven this glass dish that has been overflowing and dripping, which otherwise makes a problem with the hot dish mats, as Mother called them, hot dish mats. And the dish and the oven glove or whatever, the oven glovin'. Anyway, it's out and cooling. It will cool for a long time before I penetrate it, and feels fairly certain that the potatoes will be cooked. So that's about it. Now, 1 minute and 20 seconds now pontificating. I was gonna give a dissertation about how it's all about the children. You know, a young lady that makes, in a sense, videos like these, just talking to her camera. Expresses a desire to be independent and to be in a relationship where for each the other is all they need somehow. Maybe a little conflict there. Anyway, what it's all about the children. Find a more or less top-notch guy, inward and outward, and who wants to have children and be a mom. The best mom you can, of course. It's still a lot about resources for children and sex. You could call that prostitution, but it isn't. It's just, it's kind of the basis for prostitution. The man provides resources, and the woman provides children and sex. Everybody's happy. Resources and protection. Privileges. It's important, of course, that he have a high social standing, so that reasonably high, not bottom anyway, if possible. Helps ensure the resources and protection, and indicates privilege and so forth. Now, if it's not all about the children, then it may be all about the spirit. By spirit, I mean mental process. What goes on in these and between them in the network, primarily language network, spoken, but now also video. Anyway, memes, they matter. Many, many memes have interbred to produce the privileged life that we have. This is heaven for many, if not all. This is heaven. There's enough food. There's no predators, or hardly any. A few human ones. You do have to watch out. But very rarely does a leopard leap forth from behind the trash barrel. We have food and water and sanitation and shelter and warmth and society, more or less, at least the nearby presence of others, other humans, maybe even a little social contact. I'm pretty lazy, but this is paradise. This is it. This is what every animal that could dream, that's mostly us, I suppose, would dream of, would have dreamed of, back in the days when it didn't work so great and people starved. And of course they still do in some areas of our globe. But less, I believe anyway. I think it's true. And if there is global warming and increased CO2, which there may or may not be, I'm sure that the hockey stick idea and looming catastrophe is total bullshit, along with the consensus of scientists. No. It's a political ploy, basically. The catastrophic part of it is a political ploy to gain power over a larger area, in any case. Global warming. But a little warmer and a little more carbon dioxide, and crops flourish a little better. Really, no shit. So a moderate amount. Apparently it's only risen 0.8 degrees centigrade, the so-called average temperature, which I've seen discussed, almost discussed away, but 0.8 degrees centigrade in the last century. And that seems to be around what's been going on lately. Maybe since the last ice age, I don't know. The latest ice age. It's not going to be the last. Oh, I have a low battery symbol again. 9 minutes in. So the great pontification was, it's all about the children. That's what sex and marriage and all of that stuff is about. Quality children for the next generation. Otherwise, it goes to shit. So find a good man with good genes, a good heart, get pregnant, have children, be a mom, depend on him. Find one you can depend on. There are such, at least for longish terms. And for soulmates, well, I'd say that, yeah, with sexual mates, breeding mates, consistency has great merit. To share children, a couple, both contributing to their DNA, and caring for them until they leave the nest. That counts. But soulmate, well, with the sexual thing, it's pretty good if, well, has been anyway, if there's no cross pollination or whatever. For the man. Oh, it's complicated, so whatever. So the man has good reason to mate guard and keep other men away, at least sexually. But that's as it may be. With soulmates, there's no limit. I suppose that each of us has limited attention and time, and but one can converse or linguistically participate with soulmates. What's the word? Promiscuously. In fact, promiscuous when it comes to soulmates is a great plus, I think. That one receives a greater variety of propositions, of views on how to be human. So my greatest pontification is to really just say that nobody knows the right way to be human. Certainly not me. The right way. Whatever works. And the ultimate judge of working is what's passed on to the future, both spiritually and bodily. What goes on to the next for by with the next generation. In the spiritual sphere, and in some sense, therefore, in the physical sphere, technology, which is the main point of knowledge, and even almost technology, adds upon itself and feeds back upon itself, so that it's motion. I want to say forward motion, but so that its motion can be at times exponential. It can double every so often. It can go 10 times every so often, whatever. Like the information content of Google or something. Technology. From its roots in poking termite hills with a stick or smashing a nut against with one rock against another, and then noticing that some rocks are sharp and they cut or they work better for smashing heads or whatever, and that certain kinds of rock you can actually shape and make sharp edges. Wow. So much better for ripping into the belly of the antelope you just killed than your teeth. And your fingernails, I mean, you don't even have claws. You gotta get in there and sharp. Sharp is cool. And sharp can be on both sides or all around. Wow. Spears and arrows. Spears, arrows, and daggers. And it just mushroomed to the point where humans can make 8 gigabyte memory chips, apparently. Cheap. My goodness. Exponential growth. Well, that's what happens when a species enters a new realm and there's no competition. Exponential growth. More or less. Whatever. Tired of pontificating. I'm not sure what to read. Oh, I've just started some kind of a adventure thriller. Maybe with terrorists or drug kingpins. No, it's mostly somehow about oil, but oil is real. I mean, oil is necessary for the running of modern civilization. I forget what the other things were. They don't matter. So, terrorism and drugs. They're very much invented, very much like the global warming crisis. Drugs, prohibiting drugs creates crime and cops and oppression. There's no reason to do it. It just makes the thing worse. Except the cops have a job. whatever. Well, prohibition. So that's a tricky one, and it's really politics as usual. What was the other one? Terrorism. Fighting a war by threatening innocent bystanders. That's terrorism. Drone bombings are terrorist acts. Major terrorist acts. As bad, actually worse than a suicide attack, because it can be carried out without danger to the operator or the commander, unlike a suicide attack. Got to be pretty committed for that. I mean, nobody likes terrorism, and I certainly don't. Excuse me, I have low battery and it'll probably shut off, but I do want to smoke, and I hate this terrorism bit. I mean, actually it is nasty, and it's a nasty way to fight war. And it fits very well with the politics of the military-industrial complex to make sure that they are relevant. We're protecting you from harm in the NSA and Homeland Insecurity Agency or whatever. Well. How we social chimps do organize ourselves. It's almost 23 minutes. I should show some pity, but what the hell? By shortening this. I mean, you never know if you don't listen till the end. You never know if you missed the pearls of wisdom. Oh my. Well. So I'm sort of looking forward to my gratin, which is cooling now for half an hour. It was in the oven for an hour and a quarter, starting 375, then down to 350, then down to 300, just to make sure that it didn't burn the cheese on top. But it's still cooking, I'm sure, and I just want to, if I'm going to err, I want to err on the side of cooked potatoes, not raw potatoes. So I don't have enough experience with this yet, I